Alrighty, right. We are live. For some reason now, figures you can't even play a video without the upgraded version of StreamYard. So now can't even play the introduction video for streams without paying $45 a month. They can go fuck themselves with that. But what's up, everybody? Hey, Joe. What's up, friends and JT, buddy, and mate? I'm charging my phone. Hope you guys have a good night. Sorry I can't make it. I also love the ring. No, no problem, Joe. Good to hear you're doing well. And yes, the ring is great. Probably, hey, Ginger, ring, 7 days. Interesting enough, in because I was telling you, Ginger, before this, I was thinking of movies and then I thought of Ringu. And I said, all right, Ringu sounds perfect because I vastly prefer Ringu to this film here. But then it's hard to do watches with subtitled movies. I mean, I could have done it. It's not as hard if it's just me. When there's other people and stuff, it's a lot harder, especially if they haven't seen the movie. But I think this is probably the best Japanese horror remake out of all of them. And I really do like this remake. Always have. There's a few issues I have with it, mostly the green filter, which we saw a lot of in the 2000s, like early 2000s when this came out. Sometimes it works, like with the Saw franchise, that has the green filter through a lot of it, and I enjoy it and it works. I don't know why they went with the green filter for this movie because it's very distracting. Access to the destination country is blocked by company bonds. It's so stupid. What for the look movie thing? It's so stupid. What's up, man? How you doing, buddy? Oh shit, dude. I'm so sorry to hear that. A hit and run. I'm so sorry. When did that happen, Aunt? Jeez. I can't imagine. I don't want to ask how you doing. I can't imagine. Oh, it's terrible. Did they catch the person? I know it was a hit and run, but did they track him down? Or whoever it was? That's crazy. I'm so sorry to hear that. Jeez. You should totally. I know you've been pushing me to do Pulse for a while because I've wanted to do Pulse. There's like because there's certain movies that I want to save and do just like deep dive videos on. And then there's ones that I've already done videos on, like this. I've done a video on this video on this movie. I've done a video on The Ring 2. I've done the video on Rings, which is so bad. So's the Ring 2 remake. That's awful too for the most part. And then I did Ringu 1 and 2. So there's still more of the Ringu films I got to do. But movies like that I've done one already, I've done a video on it, and it's concise and my thoughts because you know how these streams go. We start talking about other things, and depending on the movie, sometimes the movie doesn't even get talked about much, and it's just talking about whatever, which is fun as hell. But I like having certain movies that have their own dedicated video and thoughts on them and everything, and that's why I didn't pick the faculty. Ginger was throwing me some suggestions, and the faculty was one of them, which made me go, "Ooh, I might want to do that," but I do want to do a video on that first. Same with, and that's where this whole tangent came from. Same with Pulse and its remake. Definitely. All right. Until I could figure out what the fuck just happened there with the laptop, we'll do this from the phone here. Because I don't know what the fuck that was. It just said locking up, and then it just shut off. So I don't know what the fuck that was. But yeah, Pulse and its remake are ones that I definitely want to do full videos on. I got to find a way to like prop this up. Oh, here we go. Now my laptop is restarting. It was just updating a little bit ago, so it probably didn't finish doing whatever the fuck it had to do because now it's back up. But I know you like it, the remake, right, Ginger, for Pulse? I haven't seen it in forever. I really didn't care for it. All right, let's see. Got this back up. We're gonna see like two of me in a second. It's gonna be Doppelganger JT. Stuck in Twin Peaks world. There's one of me. There's other me. And I'll keep this one on ice for a bit, just in case. How the fuck do I do that? There we go. All right. We're back. We are back for now. So let me catch up on chat here. After my electricity lodge entity interruption. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, the filters. I don't care for it. Not in this movie. It's way too much. And yeah, again, sorry to hear about that, Ant. Last Saturday it happened. Jeez. What's up, Rob? Good to see you, buddy. How you been? Professor, good to see you as well. See, this is where we go full circle. Which Pulse? Yeah, with the Japanese Pulse, Cairo. But Jinja does like the remake, which I don't remember it well enough to say it's awful in every way, because it's not. But I'd have to rewatch it in order to give like any real comment on it. The original, though, Cairo, fantastic. That's one of my favorite Japanese horror films. Yeah, I know you're doing a remake. You want to do a original versus remake. Yeah, Kristen Bell is gorgeous, one, and is a great actress, and she is pretty much one of the few things that holds that remake up. Let's see. That's funny. You both said the same shit. I thought it was my shitty work internet. I thought it was my shitty internet. That's funny. Hey Phil, how you doing, buddy? I dropped that Look movie link for anyone who wants to watch along. I haven't started yet, but Ginger, I think you tried clicking it, wouldn't let you do it. I don't know why. I guess they're cracking down on that, but it's streaming on Look movie. I don't think it's streaming anywhere else right now. I rented it on Prime. My PC just flat out tops out with a warning. Yeah, no, it just said like locking up, restarting real fast. And then I was like, wait, no. And then it was done. But I just restarted it like a half hour ago and it was updating. And I clicked something like remind me later. So maybe that's what it reminded me, like in the worst time. Let's see. I'm guessing you're talking about the Pulse remake. The atmosphere is all right from what I remember. It's not like it's not it's very close to the original movie from what I remember. Like the plot, it follows it pretty well, and even that infamous scene with the ghost, doing the creepy movements, even that's recreated pretty much like beat for beat. But I don't know. I gotta rewatch that. Jade Deception. Hey Paula, how you doing? Happy Friday. My humble opinion, the only good American remakes of Japanese movies are The Ring and The Grudge. I kind of like Dark Water, but 100% because of Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, Dark Water's good, the American one. I'd agree with that pretty much. The Ring and The Grudge, I think, are the only great, great remakes. But it's not Japanese, but The Uninvited, it's not a great remake of A Tale of Two Sisters, but I do like The Uninvited. Like, I have a soft spot for that movie. It's not the best. There's some stupid shit in it, and it's nowhere near the level of just constant dread and that dark atmosphere and that mysterious feeling that A Tale of Two Sisters has. But I do enjoy The Uninvited. But I do think The Ring, is the best Japanese horror remake. I really don't like the Grudge remake that much. I really like Ju-on the Grudge, the original. Oh, it's your work laptop. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Sunny. Hey, Sunny. How you doing? Good to see a new name. I'm doing well. Happy Friday. Oh, is that Bruce? Okay, that makes sense. Bruce. I don't know where that all started. Just a little. Yeah, I can imagine, man. I mean, that's crazy. No, thank you, Ann. All right, I'm gonna hit play on this movie in a few seconds here. Let me get back to the beginning because it was playing. All right, I'm gonna do it. Anyone watching along, let me know. If not, I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1, go. If anyone wants a timestamp in the future, just let me know. So 3, 2, 1, go. Gotta love the DreamWorks logo. Another reason this remake works very well for me is Naomi Watts, who I adore. Which is funny because a few years later, she did the same thing. She was in a remake of a very good film that I actually prefer that remake to the original, and that's Funny Games from 2007. Pretty much, it is a shot for shot remake of the original Funny Games, which is a great film. I prefer the remake just because of Naomi Watts and Tim Roth, and especially Michael Pitt. I did a video on that a while back. That's a great movie. Yeah, I'm interested in the Running Man remake, Running Ram. I was never a fan of the first one, like the original, because it's nowhere close to the novel, to the story. And you got Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. I mean, for an 80s like action movie, I have no nostalgia attached to it. That's another thing. So that movie never did anything for me. So I hope that they do something better with that. But the one that I'm really looking forward to, Stephen King wise, is The Long Walk. I can't wait to see that. And I'm praying they do a good job with it because The Long Walk is one of my favorite King stories. Even though it was under his Bachman pseudonym, I'll never forget the first time I read that novella, and I adored every second of it. I've read that multiple times over the years, which is rare for me for any type of book, really, unless it's a favorite of mine. And I've read that a few times. I'm hoping they nail that because it's very easy for them to screw that up. I can see it being very, very easy for them to mess up an adaptation because there's a lot of stuff going on in people's heads and their thoughts and just the premise alone that all these people are walking together, and if they stop they get killed. I mean, they have to be able to make that work for a feature film, which I have faith that they can do it. Still up to 2014 in your memoirs. Well, I mean, I would imagine, man. I mean, with what recent events, I mean, I can imagine you didn't have as much time to dedicate to it. But still impressive how you keep blasting through those. Phil never got really into the ring. Yeah, it's a classic for sure. I mean, I think this is a movie that got a lot of people into horror back in the day that maybe weren't the biggest horror fans. Then this movie came along. Same with Scream. And then this, except I vastly prefer this movie. You guys know how I feel about Scream. But this was one of the bigger films because I was born in 88 and grew up in the 90s. And I remember this movie coming out. And it was just one of those huge films at the time. This movie got so much hype, so much praise, and it deserves it because it's a very, very well done remake. I didn't see Ringu until several years later. So I have a lot of nostalgia for this movie, even though I do really prefer Ringu in almost every single way. The VHS intro is scary. Yeah, I mean the tape itself is really creepy, both in this and in Ringu. It is different in Ringu and more, and obviously it makes sense. There's more stuff of that is creepy to Japanese culture, like to them. And it makes sense because it was a Japanese horror film. So there's stuff that they changed in the videotape for the remake here to make it more palatable for American audiences. But both versions of the tape in Ringu and in this remake are great. Yeah, I know. I figured that. Good to see you, brother. Naomi Watts and Mulholland Drive. Yes, that is the top film of mine. That is my favorite Lynch film. It's not my favorite body of work of Lynch. I mean, Twin Peaks is, I think, his magnum opus, him and Frost. But I mean, that's twin. That's David Lynch's just magnum opus of work. But film wise, it's Mulholland Drive. It's my favorite film. Ben Richards is good. Why do people not care for him? I'm looking forward to Fantastic Four. Yeah, I've never been into any of that superhero stuff, but like some of the older ones that I grew up with, like I think I said this recently in something, like the original Tim Burton Batman movies, Batman and Batman Returns, and um, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, some of the older X-Men's. Besides that, I'm not really a big superhero guy. Oh, what the I was just talking about this with Ginger. The Are you watching the series or the new series Resurrection that just came out? Because I just saw Resurrection, the first two episodes, and I don't know how I'm feeling about it yet. I saw a film with Dolph Lundgren called "Don't Kill It." It was so bloody and gory and fun watch. Never saw it. Don't Kill It. You got to check that out. I prefer the scary movie take on this movie. I mean, it is great. I love that. Is that in two? I think that's scary movie two, right? When they have Brenda kicking Samara's ass, like and say like, "Oh, the TV is leaking." Oh, that's great. Which, speaking of movies that are coming back, we have the "I Know What You Did Last Summer" reboot that I'm hoping I can find. Oh, here's the creepy face right here. I'm hoping I can find it online tonight, if not tomorrow. and I will have a review out on I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I already know it's going to be bad. Like it's going to be. I know it is. I've already heard people's opinions on it, and it's not faring well. Plus, I'm not a big fan at all of the first film. I did a video on the first movie. We did a watch along recently. I don't know where still to this day I came up with that movie to do that night. But we watched I Still Know What You Did Last Summer recently, like a month ago. Then there's I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. I don't even remember that except for it was dreadful. So I'm not a fan of that franchise. But as soon as I can see it, which will hopefully be by the time this ends, this stream, I'll be able to. Is it on YouTube? Not the new one, right? Are you talking about that movie? Yeah, fella, I think you've told me that before. That you love I Know What You Did Last Summer. A lot of people do. A lot of people love that film. Yeah, no, I figured. There's a big fan base still for that whole franchise. It's just, it's so, you know me with fucking Kevin Williamson. Everything that he does, I can't stand. For the most part, The Faculty is the only movie. And I don't believe that he wrote all of that. There's been plagiarism accusations at him for that movie forever now. That's another good way of putting it, Ginger. Like, I liked it at the time. I didn't like it at the time, but I watched it enough growing up because they'd play it a lot. So that's where I do have a little bit of nostalgia for the original because I've seen it so many times and pretty young. But then as I, went through my life and found so many other movies and that are so much better, thousands of movies, then it puts it into perspective. It's like, yeah, this movie was never good. So there's a little bit of nostalgia I have for the first one, but I know they're going to tap into it in all the worst ways possible. The writing's going to suck. The characters are probably going to be fine, but nothing you really care about. And this is just me guessing. And from the very few negative reviews I've heard so far. I also enjoy I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, but it's not great. So yeah, that's what we did a watch along of like a month ago. I don't think I even paid attention to it during that stream. We were talking about whatever other subjects. But it's amazing the Ring franchise, how many movies there are in this series. And I haven't even seen a lot of the Ringu ones. Because we have the American ones, we got the remake here. We have the Ring 2, which is not good, which is surprising because Hideo Nakata directed that. And I always assumed, and I'm sure it's the case, I forgot if I looked into it back when I did the video on it, that the studio probably interfered a shit ton on the Ring 2 American because it's just not good for Hideo Nakata. And then Rings is even worse than Ring 2. And then thankfully, that's all we got in the American universe of the Ring. Then we have Ringu, which is a masterpiece. Ringu 2 is very, very good. And that's why I know the studio fucked with Nakata, because the Ring 2, the Japanese Ring 2, is great. Then we have Ring Zero and Ring Spiral, which I haven't done yet, but I've seen one of them, and I always can't remember which one it is. I think it's Zero that I've seen, and Spiral is the one I never saw. But then there's more than that. Then there's Sadako, and then there's like Sadako 3D, and then there's Sadako versus Kayako, the Grudge Ringu, what's the word I'm looking for? A crossover movie. And I think there's another one too, like a Sadako 2. It's like there's a lot of Ring movies. Terrifier 4, 20. I don't know. I haven't heard official news, but possibly. It would make sense because we're not getting it this year. We got 4 at the end of last year, so yeah. I would guess probably next year, which is going to be the last one, the last Terrifier. Or so they say now. I mean, who knows? You never know. I'm sure if there's enough demand, I don't know if Damien Leone would ever want to give up writing or directing Terrifier films because I'm sure that other directors or writers would want to do a Terrifier 5 and keep it going eventually. I don't know if Leone would okay that. Apparently, Jennifer Love Hewitt is in full on bug mode in the new one, so that may be worth. I heard she's only in it like it's not it's not a cameo, like a brief cameo. It's a little longer, but it's not like a long time. Like she's not in the movie much. And the same with Freddie Prinze Jr. Like it's barely a little more than cameos, is what I've heard. Rings is worth. Yeah, Rings is fucking abysmal. That movie is so bad. I don't know what they were thinking with that. Besides money, and I forget how it did at the box office. I don't think it was well. It's just not a good movie. Like most movies, there's a few things in that are okay. One thing I will give this remake over Ringu is the creepy face, like the distorted, twisted face of Samara's victims. Because in Ringu, it kind of just freeze frames on their faces, like as they're in horror, like, and it just like goes black and white, and that's it. It's a lot more stylish for sure. So I kind of like it more in that regard, but it is creepier in the remake. Yeah, there it is. And the way that her head tilts forward because it's like leaned back against the wall in the closet, and then it just falls forward. That's really cool. So tomorrow night we're gonna do Twin Peaks and finish off season one and head into season two because we have episodes 7, 8, and 9 since we're doing three at a time. And I was in Pennsylvania the last weekend at a Mopar show in Carlisle, Pennsylvania, and was in a hotel for a few days. So each night I had some downtime to edit all those Twin Peaks shorts for TikTok, explaining Twin Peaks with just clips from the show. So it's like Twin Peaks explained by itself with some log lady clips in there. And since I was not around to stream, that was supposed to be the Saturday that we did Twin Peaks again. So we will do that tomorrow. And we have 7, 8. 8 is the last episode of season one, and then season 9 will put us into season two. I could see them going adjacent and Friday the 13th thing with Terrifier, like how they couldn't use the act. Yeah, exactly. Like something like that. Like Jason Goes to Hell, Jason X. I can definitely see them doing. Oh, I saw your next question. That's more important, and so was the answer. Once I finish off Westworld, which is a great show, but I never saw season three. I stopped at season two, and then the next year when three came out, I just wasn't into watching it at that point. I got to finish that actually. Yeah, Twin Peaks. Are you serious? That's the one. Dexter New Blood, that's not even in the same conversation. Absolutely Twin Peaks. You've never seen Twin Peaks, Ginger, ever? Because I envy you to be able to watch that show for the first time. You know, like certain shows and certain movies, even like certain video games, like for me, Dark Souls and like Grand Theft Auto, Vice City, and like games or movies or TV shows that you wish you could experience for the first time again. Twin Peaks would absolutely be one of them. I can't stand Aiden in this movie and in part two. The kid who plays Aiden is so dead looking. Like, I don't like how he looks. He looks dead. He looks like he's been malnourished, neglected by his family. Like, that's how this kid looks, like a vampire. And he's very annoying. I get it that, like, he has some type of spectrum disorder or something, is what it is implied. But he always calls her Rachel. He's just an annoying fucking kid, is the point I'm trying to make. I don't like this kid. The kid in Ringu is so much better. I don't know what they were thinking with the casting for Aiden in this. Okay, so you never finished The Return, which is super important. The best, I would say, the best way to watch Twin Peaks would be rewatch seasons 1 and 2, then watch Fire Walk with Me, then watch Fire Walk with Me, The Missing Pieces, and then watch The Return. You could kind of switch that and do Fire Walk with Me, then The Return, then The Missing Pieces, and you probably still get the same out of it. But you'd have to, yeah, definitely do it in that kind of order. And that's what I figured, yeah, so you can get to Resurrection. Which, yeah, I'll probably do a video later on that, like my initial thoughts on Resurrection. Because, I mean, you see, I don't want to spoil too much, it's not really spoilers, but you do see other, past ghosts, I'll say, of characters from the original show, which was fun to see certain characters return briefly. But I don't know how they're going to land this season, because they've fucked up so many times on Dexter. That's a show that I loved so much. The first 4 or 5 seasons, especially seasons 1, 2, and 4. Those seasons are fantastic. That's like peak television right there. I really like 5 too, though, with Lumen. I thought that was one of Julia Stiles' roles that I really got into. She's a very hit or miss actress for me. Sometimes I'll really like Julia Stiles, and other times I'll just not be into her at all. And what's the one she was in? Was in the Amityville Horror? Is she in that remake? I don't know if she. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but something like that. I think she is. Don't care for her. In that though, really love her. Same with Orphan First Kill. Loved her in that. Like, she's so hit or miss. But then after that, I mean, season 6 of Dexter was all right. It was nothing great. It was going through the motions. Season 7, I thought, was the best in season 4, because it had the reveal that Deb found out about Dexter. I mean, that was something we were all waiting for, and waiting for that to happen. And then we finally got it. And I thought they handled it pretty well. There's a lot of shit, though, that I see in that. I'm like, really? Deb wouldn't say something, or is really covering for Dexter in this way and doing this for him? But whatever, it still works for the most part. Season 8 is so weird. And then the way it ended sucked. Then New Blood came, and I said, all right, they're trying to rewrite and fix how they fucked up the original series, and they were doing good for a while. Clancy Brown's in New Blood, and I love him and everything. He plays a great role. There's a lot of cool stuff in New Blood. Then it just drops the ball again at the end. Now they're bringing it back again, which I call bullshit already on the fact that he survives, and now he's back. So I don't know. It looks like they're going to go in the direction of him getting caught and paying for his crimes and stuff, which I'd like to see that, because they already tried him faking his death and people hated that. They tried him fleeing and being on the run with a new identity and getting killed, and people didn't like that. So now they're going to probably go the arrest way and see how that resonates with people. Westworld is great. I really loved the first season. And then, because I watched it when it came out, because I saw the film from the 70s years ago, and I thought that was a very fun movie. So then when I heard that they were doing a show, I was on board and I started watching it. Loved the first season. Next year came, loved most of the second season. Then I heard that season 3 was coming. I think there was a delay, right, of like 2 years or something. And by that time, I never hopped back into it for season 3. But I do want to go back, actually, and probably rewatch all 3 seasons. I did the original Twin Peaks not too long ago. I haven't seen Fire Walk with Me in years. So Fire Walk with Me it might be his masterpiece film-wise. Even though it's not my favorite film of his, and I think that Mulholland Drive is his masterpiece, I think that film was so misunderstood at the time. And now with the return having came and went, and we have a resolution kind of to Twin Peaks, that movie is so fucking important to all of Twin Peaks. Like, if you don't watch Fire Walk with Me and you watch The Return and the first 2 seasons, you still will be missing so much, like so much information. It's scary. You won't be able to figure out anything of what's really going on without Fire Walk with Me. And that's why I was able to do that deep dive on Fire Walk with Me. It's because it is kind of isolated as a prequel, but it also allows you to start branching off and talking about a lot of the different topics and interpretations for other things throughout the series. But it's so important. After Trinity. I mean, Trinity was the best serial killer on that show. I love John Lithgow. I've always loved him. I used to watch Third Rock from the Sun growing up. I mean, I've always adored that man. And he did such a good role as Trinity. And I loved Keith Carradine as Lundy. He was great too. And he died in that season too. Okay, Melissa George is the Amityville remake. What remake am I thinking? Is it The Omen? The Omen. Is that the one with Julia Stiles? It's one of those. I think maybe it's The Omen. I was thinking Amityville for some reason. The Scorsese film? Russ, the Irishman? Because I haven't seen that since it came out, and I didn't really care for it too much. It was good. I just didn't think it was on the level of Scorsese's regular movies. Like, it wasn't at his caliber that he usually puts out. But maybe I should rewatch that. Oh yeah, Burt Young. Yeah, I love Amityville too. The Possession is the best. Hey, what's up, Gorfo? Damn, I'm far behind in the chat. How you doing, Keith? Everyone's saying hey. Have I seen the Dawes documentary? I have not. Shit, I just spilled flour. This scene is so weird in this movie because it doesn't make sense. Because in the original Ringu, when I forget the kid's name in it, but he walks up and sees his father, like Aiden walks up to Noah here, but like it's like a cultural thing in the Japanese version, and like they bow or the son bows. Here, it's just like a random scene, just for them to meet each other in the street. I don't know why they included it in this, but no, I haven't seen that. Paula, is it good? So now she's showing Noah all these pictures, which would be freaking me out at this point. That all the faces are blurred out with these distorted, twisted friggin' effects on them. Which I believe, yeah, that's in Ringu also. The twisted look on them. I do like the actor who plays Noah in this too. I always forget his name. Impulse, Impulse with a Psycho, or Impulse with a Psycho William Shatner. No, I never saw Impulse. Yeah, that is with Julia Stiles, right? That's right. It's Liev Schreiber and Julia Stiles. That's what I thought, Paula, that you meant was Jaws, not Dawes, but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to assume. But I was thinking that you might have meant Jaws. No, I haven't, because mostly, and I've said this a few times, I've never been a huge fan of Jaws. I've never been a big fan of any kind of mutant big killer animals or creatures. Like creature features are different, but any type of like killer animal or killer sharks and all that whole subgenre, I've never been big on. There's maybe like a handful, and I think that Jaws is a masterfully made movie and it's a classic. It's just not something I'm into, I guess is the best way I can put it. It's just something that never resonated much with me. I don't have any nostalgia connected to it. It's a great movie. It's just something I haven't seen Jaws in fucking forever. I haven't seen that movie in over a decade. And I've never seen the sequels past, I want to say past two, but I might have seen 3D. I know Phil here in the chat, he likes four. I think that's your favorite, Phil, right? Is Jaws 4? And interesting as the ring on the phone just happened, there is no 7 days in Ringu. And I don't know how many people know that who have never seen the Japanese films. That was just for the remake here. Like there is no phone ringing and there is no Sadako saying 7 days in the Japanese film, which I think it was brilliant to add that to this, because that's the most popular phrase from this movie was 7 days. That's like one of the only differences from the original, like additions. The Omen film I own, I still don't know. Oh, it's the remake. I love the first three Omen films. That is such an underrated trilogy. The first three Omens, excellent movies. Even the first one, yeah, I did a video for the first one. I got to do the Omen 2 and 3. 4, I mean, that one, 4 sucks for the most part. But I even said with the original Omen, as much as that film is regarded as a classic and an excellent film and like one of the horror leviathans, even that film is underrated. I feel like the Omen doesn't get enough love that it deserves, even though it's regarded as a classic. Keith says Julia Stiles did a. Yeah, I mentioned that a little bit ago. I don't. Before you came in, Keith, that she did a great job in that, and she's always been hit or miss for me. But I think she did a great job in that. She did a great job in Dexter season 5 is Lumen. She's hit or miss, but that was a great performance from her. Love Third Rock. Yeah, that was such a great show. That was such a great show. Yeah, the twist in Omen first kill. Omen. Now I'm mixing Omen with Orphan. Orphan first kill. The twist in that is really, really good because I didn't know what they were going to do with that film because I really loved the first Orphan ever since it came out. And you're looking for a twist during first kill. And the way that they handled it, and the way that they pulled that off, and that they didn't wait to the end, like it was like a mid-film twist, that caught me off guard. And I think it caught a lot, if not most people off guard. They did a great job with that. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you watched Orphan First Kill tonight, Paula? Yeah, it's a great one. What's up, Scott? How you doing, buddy? I was just gonna ask what you ate, but I knew you'd type it anyway. I just ate shrimp fried rice and egg rolls. Nice. Gutter. Damn, can't I remember seeing that? I mean, I know I've seen it, but I can't remember the movie. Didn't that get a remake too, or am I thinking of something else? Did that get a remake? Let me know about Shutter. Yeah, this is the Naomi Watts ring. Because I was gonna do. Let me like go through these faster. See if there's anything important. Jeepers Creepers. Talking about Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, 3 is awful. So is Reborn. Jaws 3 is tolerable. I gotta watch. I mean, I don't have to. I really don't have any desire to. But if I ever do watch Jaws, like the sequels again, or check them out, and I'll report back with Jaws 3 how I feel about that as a fun factor to it. Yeah, see, that's what most people say about Jaws 4, but I know Phil loves it. There's people that love that movie. Is that a new documentary, Paula? The Jaws one you're talking about? Okay, yeah. So I can't think of the fucking movie though of like anything that happens in it. But I do know that it was remade with Pacey from Dawson's Creek. Really? Hi, Paula. Yeah, Paula's great, Keith. She hangs out in the chats. She found the channel a few months back. Gorophobe is a good friend of mine, Paula. He has a great channel too. If you want to subscribe to him, somebody can pull up Gore's YouTube link, throw it in the chat. There is a cool effect in Ringu that I wish they did in this remake when she goes to what the hell's the name of it in this? I don't know, the hotel where they stay, the friends, and then she goes and she watches the tape. When she sees the tape on the shelf, the VHS box, in the original Ringu, there's like this cool effect that they use. And it kind of like shows like static and it like points out the VHS tape and it like shakes a little bit. That's really cool. And I wish they included that for this, but they did not. There you go. There's Keith's link there. Oh, nice. It's the 40th anniversary. My 5th favorite movie of all time. I love Day so fucking much. That is the best zombie film. On a technicality, as I always say. And that technicality is Peter Jackson's Dead Alive is my favorite zombie movie. If you're talking any kind of zombie or anything that could be considered a zombie, that film, Dead Alive, there's nothing like that film. But if you're talking like traditional zombies and what I think is the better film, it's Day of the Dead. And that's why Peter Jackson's Dead Alive is like in the 20 something on my top 40 films list, and Day is number 5. It's just the better film. Did you see they found the OG negatives and are doing a 4K of that? Oh, nice. And do it at midnight and see. Oh, thanks. You didn't have to. You could have done it. I did this last minute, like spur of the moment. I was thinking of something to watch, and I was thinking 90s, and I asked a few people, as Ginger and some others, and they threw some good movies out there, and I already thought Ringu, but then I didn't want to watch with subtitles, and I said, all right, the remake is fantastic, so let's watch the remake. The remake. The Ring remake. Yeah, post your channel, Paula, so people can sub who aren't subscribed. Post it in the chat here. Tomorrow we're gonna do Twin Peaks at 11 p.m. That'll be a long one. We got 3 episodes. 7, 8, and 8 ends episode end season 1, and then season 2 is episode 9. You could post a link, can't you? Or only mods can? Hold on, let me make you a mod. Gonna bring it up here on YouTube. Still trying to figure out a way to record with Felipe Mora because I was very it's very unfortunate and I was very pissed off that his service sucked when we tried doing the interview live the first time last week or a week and a half ago. And then I got on with Amy from Megan, and she's in New Zealand, and it worked perfectly fine. So then I told Felipe we'll try pre-recording on StreamYard, and we tried that a few days ago, and same thing. He was dropping out every other minute, and I said, this ain't going to work. So he asked for my phone number. He called me, and we were talking on the phone for 15, 20 minutes or so, and no interruptions, no nothing. So I think I'm going to find a way or an app. If somebody knows, like maybe Ginger or Keith or anybody else knows like an app that can record a phone conversation. So it'll just be like an audio only interview with him because for some reason he can't get his shit to work. Then let me know because that's going to probably be the way I'll have to do it is record us just talking audio. But he is an interesting person and likes a lot of crazy shit. He's into aliens and the universe and the cosmos and all that type of weird stuff that I'm into and a lot of us are. So there's going to be a lot of cool talk with Felipe Mora when I can finally get that done and figure out a way to record that as a phone call. He said he's going to get a new phone though. So maybe we'll try testing it again in a few days, like when he gets his new phone. Maybe his internet connection will be better. Oh shit! Well, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Making here, Paula, you're a mod now, and I'll just grab your channel to post it. Gore, why aren't you a mod? I made you a mod forever ago. Is it because of your shit when you hid your channel and then all the YouTube shit happened? Because you are now. Again. Because I know you were forever. Yeah, it's probably from the bullshit with YouTube. There's been no more issues since you got all your subs back and stuff. You haven't had an issue since. If so, good, because that was so stupid. All of that. I love how this movie is kind of a little time capsule into the early ages of the internet. And just you see her doing so much research on the computer and using like old search engines and like old looking websites. I really like that. It reminds me of how it was when I was growing up, when Windows 95 and 98 and shit were rolling out. I also think it's very interesting how a lot of these movies that came out of Japan in the 90s into the 2000s were all basically revolving around technology. We have this movie, or the original Ringu with the tape. Then we have Pulse with the internet as well. We have One Missed Call. A lot of Japanese movies revolving around technology. The Grudge, Ju-on is really the only one that isn't like that out of like the big major ones. Yeah, dude, I can imagine. Because I saw that you got everything set right, and then it was set back again. And I said, "What the fuck's going on? What the hell are they doing to this guy?" It was heartbreaking to see that, and glad that it's all back because it's fucking ridiculous. I feel like this is forced when the Noah goes to the clerk to buy cigarettes or whatever, and she just looks at him and says, "You're gonna die," and then says, "My sister's a smoker" or something like that. I don't know. It's a little bit forced, just for like a little scene, like a line of suspense before he sees his image blurred on the security camera. I know that's not in the original, but man, the green filter is just so distracting. At least that's something the Grudge remake didn't do, was just have that green filter throughout for no reason. That's one of many things that makes Ringu so much more stylish for me and work for me so much better, is that it has such a great color palette to it. Yeah, no, dude, I can't imagine. I mean, with all the work that you've put in, I mean, and we know how much that is. I can't even imagine starting over with all the shit I've put in all this time too. I can't imagine. All I would ask, like, if it ever came to that, I would just want to be able to download and back up a lot of stuff. Mostly the interviews, all my interviews, and some live streams like with Dave and stuff, like for memories and stuff, and a few other things like my mini docs and kill compilations, things that took a lot of effort. Besides that, I could basically start over whenever if I had to. which is also why I've been putting a lot of effort into growing the TikTok, because unfortunately, that's how today is. Like, most people today have no attention span. They like shorter stuff, and it's a total different animal, TikTok versus YouTube. Completely different. And I mean, I started the TikTok like 4 months ago, and I'm already at like 2,300 followers, almost the same as the YouTube channel. And we just hit the 3 year anniversary. So, I mean, it's crazy how much faster you grow on TikTok, but you have to put into it a lot of effort, just like putting into a YouTube channel. But I have noticed a lot of crossover. Like, people come from the TikTok to the channel and subscribe, or vice versa. Like, from the channel, they'll go to a TikTok. So, and it's a good community over there too. Like the horror TikTok community, just like the horror YouTube community. I've met some really cool people over there. But it's also kind of been as a precautionary measure. That way, it's like diversification. That way, if anything ever happened, God forbid, to the channel, is still, I have every other social media that I've been trying to flesh out a little more. I mean, worst case ever happens, I just make a website. Oh, you haven't watched the American? So basically, since it came out, Keith, almost, because it came out 2002, it's 2025. So yeah, it's been almost over 20 years or so. When's the last time you saw Ringu, though? And which do you prefer? Do you prefer Ringu? Because I'm gonna probably guess that you do, knowing your taste. This is a famous scene. Aiden looking at the tape. She comes in. Then she calls Noah. He saw the tape. Who? Our son. Like, dun dun dun. Like, we had no idea that it was their son. How's the family? They're good, Russ. It's good. You disappeared for a while, man. What happened to you? People were worried, including myself. I know May and everyone was asking. I had accepted it and was starting over until they gave him back. I mean, like I said, I can't imagine, dude, what it's like going through that. But I'm the same way, and I would just do the same thing, like you just said, like accepted it, and we're just going to start over, because you have so much passion and love for this. We don't know how to do anything else. We don't know how to stop. Even if we're stopped for some stupid reason, just the fact that you said you're going to start over. Exactly. It's because your heart's in this 100%. Your TikTok scroll. I don't know what this. I just post whatever there, and that's why I like it versus YouTube, is because there's no type of real copyright anything over there on TikTok. You could post anything. So, like, even if I'm just like watching something and I don't feel like recording me talking about it, but like, I can just record a scene and add dialogue, or add a voiceover, or add whatever, and just put that out as a quick little 2-3 minute thing, and it gets 500 to 3,000, 5,000 views and shit. Like, it's wild how TikTok works. Or I'll drop a music cover, or I'll drop fucking literally anything you can put on TikTok. Your TT. That's so funny. Dude, mine's been growing pretty decently too, which is good. I mean, to say the least. But I just hit 2,000 followers on Instagram, actually. I got the little notification. You just hit 2,000 followers. But Amy sharing out the interview helped a lot in the last month, because that's up to 9,500 views. Because I tagged her. I posted like 20 minutes of me and Amy's interview and put her as a collaborator, so it's on her page too, and that helped shit shoot right up. But things were going pretty well before that too, with certain things I was posting. There's just no comparison. The Asian versions of all of them are just better. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I can't really argue that or sum it up any better. Like I was saying very early on, Jew on the Grudge. I love the original Jew on the Grudge. I don't really care for the remake, even though it is a well-made remake that is very close to the original film. I just don't care for it. I love the style and atmosphere of the first film, of the original. Then you have One Missed Call. One Missed Call by Takashi Miike is fantastic. I don't know why that movie isn't more highly regarded amongst Miike's other films, but I love One Missed Call, and I think the remake is atrocious for the most part. All the CGI is terrible in that. Then you have Pulse, which I again don't want to badmouth because I haven't seen him forever, and Ginger really doesn't really love it, but he likes it. It's all right from what I remember, but it's nothing like Pulse Cairo, the original. I mean, that movie's atmosphere is off the fucking rails. Like, it's so good, that film. Then you have this one, and I think this is the best remake out of all of them. This is the best and closest to Ringu, even though the style of Ringu and everything and the sound design, especially with Sadako's nails scraping on the floor when she comes out of the television, that whole scene is so much better than anything here in the remake. But it is a very good remake. It's just that green fucking filter, man. I mean, I purposely made the text on the stream green because of the fucking ugly filter. I hate it in this movie. Why did they think that was a good idea? Both Aussies starring in an American remake of a Japanese film. Multicultural, exactly. Old Mobile's all right. Good to hear, man. We were worried about you. I know May and Karen and a lot of us we were saying, where the hell's Russ been? Ju-on is just dark. Yeah, dude. The atmosphere, it's so dreary. It has such a dreary, foreboding feel to it that the American remake just doesn't have for me. Have you ever seen Ju-on the Curse? The film that came before The Grudge? Ju-on the Grudge? Because that's a whole long series too. There's Ju-on the Curse and Ju-on the Curse 2. And then came Ju-on the Grudge. And then we got the American remake, The Grudge, and then Ju-on The Grudge 2, and then the American remake of 2, and then a whole bunch of more sequels in both the Japanese and the American universes. So there's a bunch of those. But somebody left a comment on my Ju-on the Grudge deep dive long ago and mentioned Ju-on the Curse. So I checked that out and I did a review on that. That's very good. I still have to see the next one, Ju-on the Curse 2, and that's the one that then leads to Ju-on the Grudge, the original. I have to see the Curse 2, but Ju-on the Curse is very, very good. Couldn't believe it. That was Ju-on was your introduction to Asian horror. I can see that. Yeah, everything's great. It's you. I don't know. All right, you're all right, dude. That's what I was fearing. When you're something like that, but you're doing all right. You know, we're all here for you, dude. Anytime you need. And you have my email, Russ, right? It's in the channel description and stuff. Email me and I'll give you my number. So you can hit me up anytime if you ever need to talk or if you're going through shit. All of us are always here for you. Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Anything that we either do together or we talk about, like a movie that we talk about privately. Yeah, that's why a lot of us were, Russ, because you're always around. And like for you to just not be there for a while, we were all starting to worry and like, what the hell happened? And we didn't have a way of reaching out. Like I think Ginger had your email or something. I tried emailing you, but that was like the only ways that we had. Hey Joe, you're back. Thank you. Yeah, smash that like button if you guys did not. Hope everyone having a good night. Just want to pop in and say hi. Hello, Joe. You probably would, but not much. Because honestly, it doesn't do that for me. I mean, it does in a way, but a lot of the times, like, all right, put it this way. On the channel here, we're almost at 2,400 subs, which we need 10 more to go. On Instagram, we just hit 2,000 followers. On X, we hit 2,000 before the election. Then once the election happened and mad people started leaving X, I dropped thousands of subs at a time while gaining. So like it's been in limbo under 2,000 for a while. And then TikTok, which I just started 4 months ago or so, I'm at like 22, 23, almost 100 followers. A lot of people don't want to leave those platforms. Like, unless they're people like that follow you on multi platforms or they're friends and stuff like us who follow each other, no matter whatever platform it is. If someone just finds you on Instagram, chances are they're not going to go look at you on YouTube, and vice versa. And same with TikTok. If they find you on there, most of the time, they're not going to come follow you on Instagram or on any other platform. They they like to stay on the platform they're on. So I mean, does it help? I mean, yeah, a little bit, just because you do get occasional, cross, people that come from one platform to another, but it's not a huge amount or anything, that's worth it. I mostly just use Instagram and especially Twitter or X just to repost, whatever I posted on the channel. So like whenever a new video's out or an interview's coming up, or then I'll post on Instagram or on X. That's basically it. TikTok though is different because that you can do other stuff that you can't do on YouTube and make like smaller little bits of content. So I mean that helps a bit, and I see more crossover between TikTok, like people that follow on there that come to the channel, than any other social media, coming crossing over. So I mean, it's if you enjoy making content, like little bits of content and stuff, then like I could see you making some cool stuff on TikTok. Besides that though, like Instagram and Facebook and all that, and X especially, that's just like for updates for whatever, or here's what was posted just now on the channel. Everyone saying hi. That's nice. Yeah, I mean that's the bottom line. I mean, same with how I've always ran the channel since the beginning. Was not that it's not like it's not a quality versus over quantity or vice versa or anything like that. But the more content that you have out on a platform, obviously, the more chance that it's going to be seen eventually. You know what I mean? So the first year or so of the channel, I was pumping out reviews like that because I didn't edit at the time. I would just record and take notes, record, talk, and then upload it. That was it. There was no editing or anything. That's why I don't get out as much reviews as I used to, because it's just not possible with the editing and me trying to make it better, every single time, and make it, I don't know, better, but try to do more fun things like with the editing and stuff. But just all that shit that I uploaded, all the reviews in the first year, now you start to see them getting random comments or like a random like influx in views, which it's cool seeing that, but most of those older things are still never really going to get seen unless like for some reason it hits with the algorithm at the right time for whatever reason. A movie that comes out that is a sequel to something that you did a video on forever ago. Besides that, it doesn't really matter. Absolutely. And that's something that a lot of people struggle with. And I can see why people do, because it's a lot of work and fucking effort and stuff that we do as creators, what we put into everything here. I mean, setting up streams and scheduling those and interviews and all it takes for that, for reaching out for interviews and stuff, and then recording reviews and editing and all of that. I mean, takes an immense amount of work, as a lot of people know in the chat right now who are creators. It's a ton of work. The thumbnails, I mean, all that shit that you got to do. That's, I can see why it frustrates some people. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's why none of it really bothers me, because you just do it because you love doing it. Like, I'm here talking about all of this because I enjoy doing this. I don't care what the fucking views are on this stream at the end of this, which it's not going to be high at all, because they never are. For streams, like, streams average like a few hundred views, maybe, unless they're interviews. Sometimes those will do better. Oh, congrats, Paula! You hit 1,000 subs. Great. See, I mean, those are awesome milestones to celebrate. Now, one of the soundtracks have a lot of merch. I like the shirts they put out. Cool. Yeah, Joe, I know you love Stranger Things. I know they will too, buddy. If you kept it for longer than a week or so, you always have a new channel, and then you post a new video saying my first YouTube video, but it's not your first because you've made like a bunch already. You know what I mean? Like, you have to just keep the one YouTube channel and just keep making videos on that one. And then that way you don't have to keep making a new, this is my first YouTube video. You know what I mean? Don't keep deleting the channel. I don't know why you do that, but just keep the same one. That way you grow more and faster. Yeah, you got it right. So next time that won't happen. You can just keep on recording and uploading new videos. And just pick like movies that you love and movies you want to talk about, and just talk about them. Say whatever you want about them. I do love the cinematography of this movie on the island. Like when Rachel's on the island investigating the farmhouse, and she finds Samara's room and sees her father and everything. You don't notice the green filter as much. I think that has a lot to do with it. But what a gorgeous location that island is. A lot of my live streams have become some of my biggest video was a live stream. It's the one. That's right. Yeah, it's the one that keeps on going. No, yeah, I think my top two highest are both regular videos. And then I know my highest interview, which is a live stream, is 2.4 thousand views, which is with Amy Donald from 2 years ago for the first Megan. And I know the top two videos are 78,000 and Cannibal Holocaust, which was an early video, which was a terrible video, low audio, everything bad. And that hit like 42,000. And then it got hit with an age restriction 2 years ago. And then ever since then, it fucked up the algorithm and it was dead in its tracks. Yeah, I know, man. You keep telling me all these people I got to interview. I got to reach out to some of them. I mean, David Harbour is a good actor. He's your biggest fan? Oh, that's awesome, man. He knows you? I'm kidding. I know you meant he's you're his biggest fan. Yeah, you upload anything that has Cannibal Holocaust in it, it's getting limited in some way. I mean, we all know that. Just for having the name Cannibal Holocaust, because those words separately, cannibal and then Holocaust, are two words that are probably flagged on their own, let alone combining the two of them together. That's funny. This kid is creepy, Aiden. I'll give him that. But like I said, I don't like how he looks dead all the time. He looks healthy in Ring 2. He looks a lot healthier. He looks so pale and disheveled and just like a vampire. Yeah, I figured that's what you meant, yeah. 16 days, you turn 69. Awesome, Russ. Let me know, email me. Like I said earlier, email me after this. And we're going to talk about a possible favorite movie of yours or something, and we'll do a watch along either the day before your birthday or your birthday late night or something like that. We'll do a birthday stream for us. We'll do whatever movie you want. Can't be mad about that number. That's what I was thinking too, Keith. Millie Bobby Brown's also my favorite actress. Yeah, I know she plays 11. Yeah, she's great. Well, you asked Amy during the interview if she would want to be in a movie with Millie Bobby Brown. She said that she'd love to do that. What is Weapons? I haven't heard of that. Is that a new movie coming out? I like this old woman, like the doctor on the island, and how she says this nonsensical line that I'm glad that Rachel says something about and asks what she means when she says you're on an island when someone catches a cold, it's everybody's cold, something like that. And she says sorry, but like what the hell does that mean? Now none of this is in Ringu, like going to the island here and talking to a doctor and stuff. None of that happens. And I do like the ending of Ringu more than the ending to this, because the ending of Ringu, it leads right into how Ringu 2 starts, but the ending of the original Ringu has, oh, what the hell's her name? Raiko? Is it Raiko? Yeah, it's Raiko, I think. She is heavily implied to give the videotape to her father, if I recall right. And it's implied that he watches it, and that way they're spared, which is not how this movie ends. They just make a copy and that's it. Vastly prefer the ending of the original. Let me go this movie on weapons. The trailer has power, kind of like the Long Legs trailer did. Are you talking about the movie Weapons? Because yeah, I haven't heard anything about that, but I'm interested. Any chance they can do a reboot of The Ring? I'm sure they can. I mean, they tried to with Rings in 2018 or 2017. I always confuse that movie with the years. I think it's 2018, but I could be wrong. Regardless, it's terrible. And that was kind of like a but that's a sequel. So I mean, would they do like a complete remake and a new version of like this film? Who knows? I mean, if the money's there, I'm sure they would do that. They probably do have the audience that would watch that. Kind of like The Grudge did the same thing. To the American version, they had the American version remake from 2000, what 3 or 5, whatever it was, and then 2020 or so had a new The Grudge, and that was like a new reboot of the franchise. So I mean, they can do the same thing with The Ring. I don't know why they would, besides money, which is a good enough reason for anybody making movies. You would tell me to watch the trailer, but you don't do that. Yeah, no, I know. I'll read up on it briefly. All right, good night, Joe. Have a good night, buddy. Let me see. Yeah, tomorrow we're doing Twin Peaks episodes 7, 8, and 9 at 11 o'clock. So have a good night, buddy. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out. This movie does have one thing that I really love about it. It's the jump scare that happens in a little bit when Rachel's watching the tape of Samara being interviewed in the hospital, and then there's a like you hear thunder, and then there's a flash of lightning, and behind her is the father standing there. That's a great jump scare. That's very well done. And I usually hate jump scares. That's a very well done one. What timestamp I am at? Hold on, let me see. An hour and 15, 25, 26, 27, hour 15 and a half. Centipedes crawling across this woman's desk. All right, yeah, she's about to play that tape of Samara. Which I do like the name Samara Morgan, and I do like how they portray her in these movies, but I do like Sadako better. I think Sadako is a much better name, and the look of her too, especially. That's why the TV scene is so much more creepy and more effective in Ringu than it is in this. Even though I think the CGI holds up in this for the most part, Ringu just uses so many cool camera angles and tricks and the sound design and all of that. The directing, the editing especially too is great in that. That makes that TV scene of her crawling out of it and her nails scraping on the ground, it makes it so much creepier than the CGI version that we get in this film. Like it's night and day. I love the look on the dude's face. Yeah, in Ringu, yeah, he plays it so well. Yeah, yeah. He knocks over. Oh, you're talking about this one because it is a little different how they react. Because he knocks the shelf over in the remake here. Yeah, because Samara like teleports forward like 5 feet or something right in front of him, and that makes him fall backwards, which doesn't happen in Ringu because there's no CGI like that. But he does like kind of fall backward and then is like pressed against the wall. Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine. You're watching, you're looking at your TV, and some ugly bitch with crazy hair and stuff, and some ghost starts crawling out of a well, and then crawling into your reality from the TV. I'd be out. I'd be so far gone. That guy waits along way too long. I'd be gone. Daddy loves the horses. That's the creepy line. And that's we just got that awesome jump scare with the father behind her before he attacks her. This movie does remind me of The Omen in a way, in the way that it both kind of explores, would you be able to kill your child if you were convinced 100% they were evil? Like, they killed Samara because of the images she was putting in their heads, and people were dying around her, and they knew that she was evil and something was wrong with her. Just like in The Omen. And something about The Omen that I always wish they did differently was, I wish that it wasn't their adopted son. I wish Damien was the blood son of whatever the character, Gregory Peck's character, because I feel like it would have been even harder for him to make that decision. I got to kill my son. He's the Antichrist. It would have been a lot more effective for me. But they both play on that type of thinking and stuff like, and that whole, I don't know, that whole morality question of, would I be able to do this if I knew 100% that it was the right thing to do? And I think they handle that well in both of these. It plays much more of a role in The Omen, but Samara's backstory does have a lot of that. The documentary on Jaws is on Disney Plus. They partnered with National Geographic. Yeah, they've partnered with a lot of people. Same with Paramount Plus. They've been eating up companies too. Why does no one ever at least try and punch the ghost creature, then run? Seriously, Hell House is the worst for it. The clown turns his head to me. I am slugging. Yeah, that, I mean, for sure. The clown from Hell House, yes, because that is a physical being. You know what I mean? Like, I've said that while watching that. How do you know that's not a person under there? And later on, like in later movies, like it is, in certain aspects and certain scenes. So, first thing would be beat the shit out of this mannequin thing. But I guess you're right. I mean, like with ghosts, like with ones that are full on like apparitions or specters that is a ghost, why try hitting it? I guess because everyone is conditioned our entire lives of everything we know or think we know about ghosts is that you can't hurt them, that you can't hit them. That might be why, is just run, because everything that we think of when it comes to ghosts is that we can't hurt a ghost. We can't hit it physically. I love it. Yeah, me too, man. Like there's times that if I'm not watching horror, I'm either watching comedy, more specifically and more often stand-up comedy, or I'm watching documentaries. Either film documentaries or true crime documentaries or stuff on aliens and cryptids, all that shit. They absolutely are. You don't know if Sadako slash Samara is physical when they exit the TV, really. Well, see, true with Ringu. I wouldn't say so with this, because she obviously looks like a hologram in this one, and she teleports and shit. In Ringu, she's completely physical looking. She doesn't have like a ghostly look to her at all. So yeah, in Ringu, I would start stomping the fuck out of her while she's on the ground. around while she's trying to get out the TV. 100% the right way to do that. She kind of moves too glitchy and looks like that in the remake here, that I would instantly think, no, she's a ghost. I got to get the fuck out of here and just fall into a bookshelf like Noah does. I think that's the difference. Or it's the difference for me, at least. They're tearing her wallpaper. They find the tree. Which is a very cool shot. I do like that tree. Like the burnt, it's like burnt into the wood. And she notices it from the lodge that she was at, where she watches the tape. Oh, we're on day 7. Wednesday, day 7. What do you say, Keith? That's why I'm transitioning into more of a doc creator in the future. Yeah, I've noticed that, and I think you're great at it. 1 and 2. That's I think an even smaller niche that will work both ways for you. It depends on what you're doing the documentary on. I think that you'll get a lot of views and have very well performing videos and documentaries that you put out. And then you might have ones that don't do as well just because they might not be about things that are as popular. You know what I mean? But for the most part, I think that's a good niche to be in, is to make little and be like horror documentaries and film documentaries. That's why I love doing the Bava and Romero ones that I did. And I'm going to be turning that Twin Peaks series that I did for TikTok into a full type documentary thing on Twin Peaks. So I made all those clip edits and stuff as an outline. So then I'll have a whole little foundation that I can add voiceover and interviews with Lynch and other stuff like that throughout it. You love true crime as well? Yeah, I'm a big true crime fan. I'm also big on true crime content community on here. Yeah, if it's something interesting, then I'm there. Like I love watching and I've been watching a lot of these lately, and I can't pull myself away. It's like one of those things that you can't help binging. The interrogation videos, like when you see and briefly hear about the crime that was committed, usually is like teenagers killing somebody or killing their mom or something like that. And then most of the video is like 45, 50 minutes or so of the interrogation. I love watching those. That is so much fun watching those and seeing these people lie, even though they got them dead to rights on video proof with their face there, and the girl sitting there. That's not me. That's not me. I swear. Do my DNA so I can get out of here. That is not me. And it's so fucking exciting and it's so entertaining because these bitches are crazy and the guys are insane. Every single murderer they have on those things. It's so entertaining. Yeah, no, there's great imagery in a lot of the Ring movies. That's one thing they do very well. Even Ring 2, the American one, as bad as that movie is, has some really cool effects in it and has some really cool, disturbing shots and things in it. Yeah, I've been watching true crime. Yeah, same here. I used to watch A&E, Discovery. I used to watch Forensic Files. I used to watch that all the time growing up. Forensic Files was a favorite of mine. Yeah, I'm gonna record that Fulci stuff for you tonight or tomorrow because I definitely want to talk some Fulci. Because I was just watching what was I watching last with Fulci? I just had something on in the background recently. The Black Cat. That's right. I had the Black Cat on in the background while I was editing some stuff like last week or week before that. I love that movie. That is such an underrated Fulci film. The Black Cat, Enigma. What else? There's so many underrated Fulci movies. Um, I would say that those are two of his most underrated. A Cat in the Brain. That's another one. The New York Ripper is pretty up there on a lot of people's lists. Manhattan Baby. Manhattan Baby is another very, very underrated film. Um, Lizard in a Woman's Skin, I think, is underrated. And The Psychic is underrated too. I mean, I think those are very underrated films for Fulci. It is. The Black Cat is a very overlooked film. It's a very it's like a slasher with a cat. And it's like Fulci's weird surrealist take on the Poe story. And it works for me 100%. I think that's such a fun movie. Oh, now we got Rachel in the well. I love how they find the well here with the marbles and stuff that converge, and then they know that the floor, is below it, and they pull it up, and the well's there. All of that's really cool. And I do like how they do the effect when she picks up Samara in the well and she's holding her in her arms, and then you see her like disintegrate from a human, the girl, into her skeleton. That's a cool effect. Oh, and you see her nail in the wall. Nail stuff. I can't do nail stuff. That's the one thing. I can watch all the gore in the world. I can watch heads being decapitated, bodies ripped in half. It doesn't matter. You get nails that are getting ripped off or fucked with in any way in front of me. Oh, I don't like that. It really gets me. Yes, it's more giallo during a time when Fulci was more into gore and horror. What movie are you talking? You're talking about Black Cat, right? Yeah, absolutely. It has a giallo slasher vibe to it, and it is oddly placed. Well, I mean, he did New York Ripper. What, that year? The year before? When was Black Cat? 82, 83? So around the same time he did the New York Ripper. But you're right. I mean, he was much more well known for Zombie and then City and The Beyond, House by the Cemetery. So it did come at like a weirder, more transitional time for him. Same with how The Psychic, I always say, is a very transitional film for him as well, from his giallos to his supernatural horror. I love this shot here of Samara, the flashback of Samara's mom killing her. As she's leaning over the well, and the mom comes up behind her and then strangles her, puts the bag over her head, which is not how she dies in Ringu. I like that. Instead of black gloves, it's black cat. That's cool. I feel like they have a harder time in, like, Samara's mom has a harder time killing Samara in this film than her parent does in Ringu. I like that shot too, with her when they show that she's still alive, when she falls into the well and her eyes open, and then she sees the well lid coming shut and the ring, which is why the last thing you see before you die is the ring. It's just such a great concept the premise for I know it's based off a novel. Ringu was so the whole premise of the Ring, the novel, brilliant. To have a cursed videotape that as you after you watch it, you die in 7 days. Brilliant idea. Like with everything, I always say I don't know if it's been done before. I'm sure in some way you can find a film that has like a similar premise with some type of parallel. If it's not a cursed videotape, it's a cursed something else. But what a great premise. Excellent idea. And just the fact of having that videotape being like a metaphor for this girl's anger and her frustration with it. She was murdered. I mean, she was always this evil thing, but she was still a kid and she was fucking murdered by her parent. So that tape pretty much represents all her anger and just her frustration with what happened to her. That's the cool shot when she disintegrates into a skeleton. She drops her body into the well, onto the water. I would have been trying to get Rachel out much more effectively than Noah is here. He is not trying that hard. Let's see here. When you first see this, you think she's going to be a piece, and then, yeah, exactly. This is like one of those classic false endings where you think that this is going to be close to the end. Everything seems to be tied up. She seems to be at peace, but then you get the awesome scene that comes after. Wasn't the haunting of Bly Manor similar? Bonnie and a Well. I didn't see all of that. I have to still catch up on a lot of Flanagan's shows because I am a huge Mike Flanagan fan. I have been a huge Flanagan fan since Absentia, his first movie. But Oculus was the film that really made me fall in love with that guy. And I've seen every film of his since, and I've loved every single film of his. And then he started doing the Netflix shows, and I didn't get around to watching them. I don't get a lot of time to binging shows, but I did watch The Haunting of Hill House, right? Was his first one. I thought that was excellent. I thought that was so good. Then I started The Haunting of Bly Manor, and I watched 2 episodes, and I just never got back to it. I thought it was going to be like The Changeling. So you're not a fan of The Changeling? I love that movie. I, I wouldn't say love. I really enjoy it. It's not one that I can throw on anytime, but if I'm in the mood for it, I do like The Changeling quite a bit, which has the whole bouncing ball ghost thing, which is directly from Mario Bava's Kill Baby Kill. Basically, you see any ghost with a bouncing ball, it's from Mario Bava's Kill Baby Kill. Yeah, no, it has. It definitely has. Oh, that's the thing with a lot of supernatural movies and ghost films, demonic possession films. It's been done so many times that we've seen it a million times before. Bly Bly Manor was a bit slower and felt more familiar. I gotta finish that. I only watched, like I said, like 2, maybe 3 episodes. I thought it was good. Everything I saw so far. The Kevin Bacon one, can't remember the name. Midnight Mass, though. That's another one that I have to watch. All his shows on Netflix, I gotta watch, except for Haunting at Hill House, which I thought that was excellent. And I loved the crooked, broken neck uh, ghost, for to not spoil things for those who haven't seen it. But if you haven't seen the documentary on Shudder, what is the 101 scariest horror movie moments of all time? I did a video on it like a year and a half ago, commenting on every number on the list as they went down the list. But one of the moments was Lake Mungo from 2008. And when she sees her doppelganger, future self, whatever you want to call it. And Mike Flanagan goes on to praise Lake Mungo like you wouldn't believe for like 5 minutes straight. He says it's the first horror film he suggests to anybody who asks for a horror movie recommendation. He says that it was a direct influence on the hanging woman in Haunting of Hill House. He loves Lake Mungo, and so do I. I adore that film. Hush is a good one. That's one that I haven't seen as much as his other films. I should rewatch that, actually, because that is a very good film, which with great sound design, as to be expected with the premise. I don't remember Stir Echoes too well, but yeah, I do remember it being similar. The Changeling, you mean, right? Yeah, it's about time for a rewatch for Stir Echoes for me. Yeah, the 101 scariest films are, yeah. Terrified was awesome. Yeah, Terrified's on there. Terrified is great. I remember when that movie came out. I saw it when it came out on Shudder. And then we had When Evil Lurks announced. And I said, oh, that's the same guy who did Terrified. And then that was my film of the year, When Evil Lurks. 2023? Yeah, 2023. That was my film of the year. I thought that movie was fantastic. And here we go with Noah. He's looking, the TV's on. He won't answer his goddamn phone for no reason otherwise, other than the plot. That's the only reason. But despite the CGI and everything, I still think the scene is very well done. I think it's very effective. And it's creepy. Even though I do prefer, she's too demonic looking in this. You know what I mean? She's disfigured and bloated, which it makes sense. She died and has been in a well all this time. But just how she looks in Ringu, to me, is so much more effective. The slight makeup on her, and that's it. Like, she looks too overdone here. Like, she's cooked too much. I don't like that. It's kind of like, oh, come on, Annabelle, the doll. When you look at that doll, knowing that it's based off a true story, a quote unquote true bullshit story, that it was a Raggedy Ann doll. Then you see Annabelle like in the movies, in the Conjuring films, in her own movies, and how over the top creepy she looks. And you say, get the fuck out of here. Who would buy or go near a doll like that? Kind of like that. She's way too demonic looking in the remake here. And then same with like the close up on her eye here. He just fell over the bookshelf. She looks up and has the demonic face, and then it all goes static. The close up shot of Ringu, of Sadako's eye, that's so iconic. That's one of the best shots in horror right there, where it's just her hair covering and you see just the one eye close up, and then the guy's face just like turns to gray. So much better than this, even though, again, I love this remake. And I do think nostalgia does have a decent amount to do with it. Because, like I said, I was a kid when this came out, and I remember how big this was when it came out. And I remember seeing it many, many times before I ever saw Ringu. The Grudge, though, I'm not sure. I think I might have seen Ju-on The Grudge before the American remake. Because I think after seeing this like 2 or 3 times, then I saw Ringu and really, really enjoyed that. Then I saw Ju-on The Grudge and then the remake. It could have been that. I could have seen the remake of The Grudge first, though. I'm not sure. That was fucking forever ago. We're talking like 20, 25 years ago. That's right. This girl's leaving. And I do like how we don't see Noah's face right away. Like that when she sees Noah, they don't show the face. But then when it's shown in a flashback, or like in Rachel's head, like when she's remembering it in a little bit, then you see Noah's disfigured face. So that's cool that they didn't show it right off the bat and they saved it as a little bit of a reveal. House, as in which house? The house from the 80s or House or whatever, the Japanese one from 79 or 77. I always think 79 with that movie for some reason, and it's 77. Okay, yeah, that movie. All right, the thing with House is watch that movie immediately. Seriously. Check that movie out, Keith, like as soon as you can. I think it's on Max, and it's been on Max forever. House is such an insane film, but it's masterfully made, and the effects are insane. They look ridiculous, but it's like an acid trip. The movie, it like a lot of Asian films back in the 70s and stuff, which I haven't seen many 70s Asian, especially Japanese horror movies, but of what I've seen, that's how it is. It's so off the rails. It's so insane, and there's a lot of heart to it, though. But yeah, check that movie out. Like seriously, it's a near masterpiece. Like that's I consider it almost a masterpiece of a film. It's not a straight horror movie, which is similar to a lot of Japanese horror movies. It's not strictly horror. There's a lot of comedy in it. There's a lot of what the fuck is going on right now going on in it. There's just so many different things, and just the animation and all the effects work. It's fantastic. Yeah, that's one I've been wanting to talk about for a while actually, and do a video on. So that reinvigorated me. Maybe that'll come sometime soon. 'Cause, yeah, that's a blast of a movie. I think Max always has had it for like the last year. So I'd be surprised if they took it off at this point. It's just this girl goes to a boarding house or boarding school, and there's no real way to describe it, and then just things start happening like supernatural stuff, and that's it. That's like the best way to put it. So then we have Rachel and Aiden make a copy of the tape, and they're supposedly safe, and the movie ends, which we know that they are not safe because wherever they move to in Ring 2, I forget where it is, but they move directly to a place in across the country pretty much where somebody else has just watched the tape, and everything in the Ring 2 is terrible for the most part, which I always say I contribute to the studios because Ringu 2 is great. And it's pretty much the same story because I wasn't sure how close they were because now with the Ring series, we have done, we've covered all the American versions. I've done a deep dive on this movie. I've done one on the Ring 2 and on Rings, which is awful. Like, as I said earlier, terrible. Then I did Ringu 2. I didn't do Ringu 2. All right, so just the original Ringu. So we have Ringu 2, Zero, Spiral, and Sadako, and all those Asian ones still to do in the future. But yeah, that's the Ring remake from 2002. Definitely, Keith, check out House because that movie is just batshit insane. And tomorrow night, guys, we have Twin Peaks season 1 into season 2, episode 7, 8, which ends season 1, and we go into season 2 at episode 9. So that's at 11 p.m. tomorrow night. And let's see what Keith says here. Anyone who wants to watch Day of the Dead 85 with me, I'll be on in about 10 or 15 minutes. I'll stop by the chat for sure. I'll be in the chat. Absolutely. Maybe I'll throw on Day of the Dead too. I haven't seen it in a few months. So, I mean, for my 5th favorite movie, that's usually how often I wait, a few months before I watch it again. But yeah, man, thanks for hanging out. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for talking The Ring. Thanks for talking horror in general. And yeah, tomorrow, Twin Peaks. And I will try to get Feast 2 recorded tomorrow. So that way it'll be out tomorrow night, like after the Twin Peaks stuff. So, all right, guys, everyone have a good night. I will talk to you soon. Head over to Keith's channel to hang out and watch Day of the Dead 85.